Well, my first guest this week is joining us via satellite from Salt Lake City, Utah, Mr. Gregory Thonis. He's the Vice President of Education with InvestView Incorporated. Gregory, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Don. Really glad to be here. Thank you.
Now, Gregory, your company and website, 7minutetrading.com, is about how investors working at it only 7 minutes per week can generate weekly cash flow and profits. So you got to tell us about 7-minute trading.
Well, the program was created for everyone who's really frustrated with the returns that they've been seeing inside of their retirement accounts, their mutual funds, their individual portfolios. But one of the things we hear from people is they just don't have the time that it takes to go and do the research that's necessary to improve their returns. So we created this program that is literally just 7 minutes per week. Now our strategy follows the S&P 500, also known as the SPX. Most of your viewers probably know the S&P 500 is an index that tracks 500 of the largest companies inside the United States. Now, it's very difficult to predict where the S&P 500 or even the markets are going to go the next year, the next quarter, the next month. So we actually go, and our strategy looks at the next week. In fact, even less than that. Just the next 2 to 3 days is where our strategy's sweet spot is. We put out one trade per week, and as simple as that, 7 minutes.
Now, as you mentioned, people who aren't trading stocks say they just don't have the time to do the research necessary, but you're saying they only need 7 minutes per week. Now, how is that possible?
You know, it's so true. The number one thing we've heard over the years of teaching, we've taught over 250,000 students, is they say the number one reason is, I just don't have the time. Life's really busy right now. And so we created this program, so it's a newsletter based. In other words, every single week you receive a newsletter that has a trade. Inside that trade tells you what to do as far as getting into the trade, what to do and adjust it, and when to get out. And you really have to take control of your own life's investments. You know, when we take a look at how much time this is per week, there's 10,000 minutes in a week. We're asking for just 7 of them.
Well, since the inception of your program in March of 2011, it has generated a rate of return for your members of something like 268%. Tell us about that success.
Well, it certainly has been a lot of fun for both our trading team as well as all the members that have been with us along the way. And I like to think of it as the story of the tortoise and the hare. And we're the turtle. A slow and steady wins the race. You know, our goal is just 5 to 7% return every single week. But when you can do that week after week after week after week, it really certainly can add up. You take a look at 2011, last year. We started in March of that year. The markets pretty much were flat last year. Didn't really do a lot. And yet we were up 205% last year for our members. This year has been like a rabbit jumping. The market has been way up, way down, way up, way down. And you're just hoping it'll end the year with that rabbit way up in the sky, but it may not. Our trading strategy, though, up over 100% this year.
The website, 7minutetrading.com, that's the number 7minutetrading.com, discusses the simplicity of your program. Just how simple is it?
Well, it's very simple because we do all the work for you. We watch the market every single day, every single hour that the market's open so that you don't have to. And the way that we actually get it out to you, our trade recommendation, is via newsletter. So every single week, usually on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or maybe a Thursday, you're going to receive an email. We also post it online, and we just actually started using Twitter as well. You receive the trade via that email. Inside of there is about one page on why we're doing the trade that we're doing this particular week, whether we believe the market's going to stay flat, going to go up, or go down over the next 2 to 3 days. Then, during the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if there are any adjustments to be made, well, you get another newsletter. If not, the trade simply expires, and ideally, you make your full profit for the week.
Well, Gregory, there are 3 terms in your strategy that I found particularly intriguing. A bull put spread, a bear call spread, and something called an iron condor. Can you give us some detail about each, please?
I'd be happy to. And I don't want your viewers to get scared off by those terms, because for some of them, it's probably the first time I've ever heard this terminology. You know, it's not difficult, it's just different to learn this. And I want to make sure everyone understands that. You know, you take a look at about the iron condor, which is our primary trading strategy. The other 2 spreads you mentioned just are the 2 building parts to that iron condor. And what we look at is the market over the next 2 to 3 days. we want to see it be in a range, if you will, like a little range about this. There's a high and a low, a ceiling and a floor. And as long as it stays inside that range, our trade will make money when we trade an iron condor. Now, if we believe that it's going to break outside of that range to the upside, well, then what we'll go ahead and do is actually do a bullish spread. If we believe the opposite, that the market might go down over the next 2 or 3 days, then we'll go ahead and do a bearish strategy for that. The best analogy that I can think of, Don, for your viewers, is gas prices. Let's just say that gas prices have been $4, pretty much $4, plus or minus a nickel or two over the last month or so. Well, if we were to say we want to take a trade on that, we would look at that range from, let's say, $3.95 to $4.05, with $4 being the middle. And we believe it's going to stay in that range over the next 2 or 3 days. That's reasonable. If it's done it for the last 30 days, why wouldn't it do it for the next 2 or 3? Now, just to be on the safe side, we're going to stretch that a little bit and go to $4.10 and $3.90. And as long as it stays in that range, which is outside of its normal range for the next 2 or 3 days, we make money.
And again, you run only one trade per week.
We do, and that's how we get to just 7 minutes a week. That's the beautiful part of this. I know you mentioned the simplicity earlier. Continuing down that theme, the idea that you get one trade via newsletter with any adjustment or exit all in the same week. So it's kind of like wash, rinse, dry, repeat, so that you're never confused about what trade we're in. It's always the exact same scenario every single week. We enter a trade typically Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then we're out by Friday. And your money is all sitting in cash over the long weekend. And we all know lately a lot of news, especially out of the Eurozone, can come out over the weekend.
Again, the website is 7minutetrading.com. Greg, what does the program cost for members to get involved?
Well, when we created this program, we wanted to make sure it was affordable. So it is just $49.95 per month. And that gets you a new trade every single week. Really, again, that's $49.95 for a program that has returned over 300% since its inception. That's over 20% per month for your $50.
Well, how can people sign up?
Well, the best way to do it is just simply go to that URL, 7minutetrading.com. Once they're there, they'll actually be able to watch a video that'll repeat, kind of what we've talked about today, have a nice recap, and also provide a few testimonials from our members so you can understand, what exactly is it that we do here at the 7-Minute Trading.
Once again, 7minutetrading.com. The company is called InvestView. We've been talking with Greg Reithonis. He's their Vice President of Education. Greg, this has been a fascinating ride. Again, please visit 7minutetrading.com. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Great. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.